Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
A lot of us live our lives hoping for fond memories when we reach that final leg of the journey. There are doors and windows of opportunity, not walls. All of those things, over, under, around, that's wall talk. That wasn't to serve you, that was to distract you. Why does greater than provide windows and doors? Because it knows if you just can peek through the window, one day with me, you will walk through the door. That is the only way to get through it. And you got to get through it in order to get to it. Why? Because every single moment is a new opportunity for greatness. Don't build your career on holding up something you accomplished years ago. Build your career on things you created moments ago. It's time to wake up. It's time to get up because it's time for us to stay up. I'm not playing with it today. I'm not playing with it today. You know, yesterday, another mass shooting. I'm just getting right to it. Getting right to it. I'm not playing with it today. No. Another mass shooting yesterday. You know, I'm tired of being sad about it. I'm tired of being all those things that aren't changing shit. Now, I'm mad. I'm angry. I am angry. 3 9-year-old babies. 3 people who had invested their divine gifts into raising these babies and giving them a chance to create their magic in this world. Gone. And the shooter. Not the shooter, the spirit that drives the shooter. Nobody talks about it. Gun control. Well, if it's not going to be a gun, it'll be some other weapon of destruction, whether it's words, thoughts. We need to get what we know to be true to those who don't even know that it exists. That's what needs to happen. You know, yesterday, and again this morning, and it breaks my heart because I spent the first 50 years of my life investing in the killing of myself, one way or another. I used to say, I'm glad I won't see 20. Well, I know I won't see 30. Well, of course, I'm not going to make it to 40, not living this life. And here I am, 60. And now I'm switching the narrative over. Boy, am I glad I am not a young person today. Because I can see what is coming right over that hill. And if we don't do better, just because we're not here, don't think you'll be clear. Because this life is for a reason. It's not just about what we brought to it from other lives. It's not just about what we do with this current life. It has a lot to do with what we take into what is next and what form we take wherever it is we go from here. It is congruent. It is woven together like a basket of purpose. And I'm just going to say it, you guys, you know. Stop thinking your voice doesn't matter. Stop thinking that your prayers don't matter. It matters. It all matters. Everything we do that we mean, whether we can see it, feel it, taste it, smell it, hear it, or not. Anything we mean, trust me, it instantly becomes meaningful somewhere in this beautiful universe. Bell of Purpose is here again. In effect, I ring it on purpose to remind us that just like that bell has a ring to it, so does the truth. Can I get an amen? Yep, I'm going to put it up on the screen. And welcome to the show, my sidekick. She's Maya McMahon, Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo, been here all 6 years. If I offended anybody, too damn bad. Thought I was going to say I'm sorry. No, I'm done being sorry. I'm done. What about you? Start having these conversations. Not about, oh, and it's shame, poor babies. What are you going to do? Going to wait until it knocks on your door before you truly feel the depth and the urgency of what needs to happen in this world. Don't wait. Today, I want to tell you, I'm so grateful, you know, going to Romania coming up here in just a few weeks. And, you know, it was in St. Louis. I'm going to get Shannon in here in just a moment. But it was in St. Louis just about sometime last month when I was speaking. Never before have I gone into my phone to get some current data or current events to bring into my keynote, to my message. But this day I did. And it was the mass shooting piece. And at 3, you've heard me say this many times since then. At 3 something, it was one number. And boy, I came back at 8 o'clock that night to do the keynote. 2 more mass shootings just in the span of 4 or 5 hours. And here we go again. So today, Shannon is here because I'm going to tell you, between that and all that is moving around my space with this Romania trip, it's not just a trip, y'all. This is not just an event. Power We never was, never is, and never will be just an event. That's why we're not a nonprofit. God said, do not put a collar on this. It is a movement. That is why it is the power of we. That's us. All of us. We have dominion over everything that serves us. And we don't have to have dominion over those things that do not serve us, because when we engage with those things that do serve us, those things that don't get gone, they go. Oops, gotta go. And here we are going to Romania, and we have this young guy. He's like 27, Vicinel. He's like 27, 28 years old. Came out of the system over there, just like many of us came out of the system over here or somewhere else in the world, whether it was an organized system or a spiritual, a not serving system, whatever it was, a generational system, a process that we did not choose in most cases. Can I get an amen? Started when we were just innocent, like these kids were going to serve. Anyway, he's been exposing the corruption. The vice president of something over there was taking the whole week off just to be with us. The one day we have off, Thursday that week, I, and Diana from Hope for Kids, you're going to see her video here in a minute. We were going 4.5 hours one way, 4.5 hours back, just to go to this group home where a 16-year-old kid, LGBTQ kid, killed himself a few weeks ago because he was bullied when the kids in the house, unattended, found on his phone that he was a member of an LGBT support group on Facebook. And whatever he was going through was clearly too much for him. And he unfortunately took his own life. But there's still kids there that need to talk and heal through that, what they experienced a couple of weeks ago. And we're going there. So anyway, Vicinel took the whole week off from his government job. And yesterday he got fired. He's still coming with us. We're still doing it. But yesterday he got fired because he did a big interview a few weeks ago and exposing more of the corruption. And they tried to shut him up. So now, today, I wake up and the Power We trip to Romania is not the same trip it was yesterday when I woke up. I watched a video yesterday of kids who live in the subway, 10 years old, 8 years old, 6 years old, live underground. Watching them go up to people and ask for a little. And then you think that's bad, and then you hear about what happened in Nashville. Take me. Sometimes you feel like. Anyway, Shannon, that's why I'm telling you all, I set this up. I took a little extra today because I want you to understand purpose. I want you to understand how it's those little things, those small, little inconsequential meetings and appointments and intersections in our lives that we think, well, wasn't that nice, but we really don't see it for what it is in many cases. Meeting Shannon Elizabeth McGregor was that for me. Back on the very front of this, I think she got one of my very first business cards. We're going to talk about that today. And I remember when I gave it to her, I said, I thought to myself, interesting. I didn't feel like a fraud. I was in the front room of an entire mansion filled with imposter syndrome furniture, paintings, food. Everything in that house was imposter. And when I handed her that card, she touched me just by the way she looked when she read it. She wasn't doing what she does today. But because of what happened in that divine moment, I am still, thank you, God, doing what I wished and hoped and prayed to be doing that day. I'm doing it right now. People come through our lives for moments, for seasons, some forever. Pay attention. Pay attention. So Shannon, I think it was a video store, a bookstore, something like that, where we originally were brought together. And she is a cherished spiritual and life advisor. She's studied business and metaphysics, human nature around the world. She's held many titles throughout her life: author, pastor, priestess. There's one you don't hear every day. Healer, director, business owner, manager, instructor, realtor, entrepreneur. And she's operated several of her own successful modest businesses. Velocity Services is her new venture, in where she is encouraging and guiding people during their rites of passage times in life. She's a life doula who knows people rise together. That's power. We thank you for that. She's a certified 500-hour World Yoga Alliance instructor, and there's a bunch more. She's a mother. She has 2 sons, but I'm going to tell you what she is for me. She's living proof that when you have questions and question marks in front of something you know you must do, you're feeling compelled, and you have no social proof. No one is standing in line to tell you, yes, you can do that. You're going to meet a person just like this one. And like I said, just from watching her read what was on my card, my intentions were inside that card, all around that card. Here we are today, and we've both grown, and we're going to continue growing. So put your hearts on the screen, won't you please? It's our virtual way of saying thank you in advance. It's our virtual way of opening the sacred circle so that some healing can happen, and some pouring of whatever it is we all need today has literal permission to do everything it was created to help us find our highest self in this moment. So put some hearts on the screen as we bring Shannon Elizabeth McGregor, and be blessed in the way that you're blessed. Share this out right now while she's coming in. Share this out to at least one other person. Here she comes, Miss Shannon. Heidi ho.
Good morning.
How are you, Shannon?
Well, my heart is touched and inspired.
I was going to apologize. Yeah, stop. I was going to say, sorry for stealing some of your time today, but
no,
I was watching you backstage and I knew you understood. I'm so glad you're here. There's a number of things I want us to, kind of tap into today. But first things first, why don't you take a moment or two, say hello to the audience, and just, get your vibe going with them. Tell them what you feel they need to hear. And then I'll come back in and we'll get started. I want to talk about spirit first. I want to start with spirit. That's what I feel. I'll be right back. It's all you. Take it away.
What's on my heart this morning is that if I have not love, I have nothing. I'm just a clanging cymbal. I'm just noise in the wind. Well, this were literally, we hear the Beatles song. I went and meditated where they meditated up in Rishikesh, India last year. Their music impacted a world. All you need is love, right? But that really is what we need in everyday moments. We have opportunities to be kind. You're at the grocery store. You're at a bookstore. I work at my friend's metaphysical shop, and I go in when she's usually has things for her son, or she's traveling, special reasons usually, and I'll go in and I'll work there. I believe that every moment of every day, we make that choice. And when Lauren walked into my store that I was managing that time in my life, it comes easy to me, retail. I grew up behind my father's cash register.
Yeah.
My father was a senator and representative in Vermont for many years in politics. But my father, one of the greatest lessons he ever taught me was you can tell the character of a man or a woman by how they treat someone that they would view as serving them.
Mm-hmm.
And he taught me that you never go into business, you never do politics, and you never bring them into your home if they're a person that views others as less than or as objects.
Mm-hmm.
And the issue that we have going on, and I see it in our society, is that somehow we have shifted from treating people with love. We've treated them as objects.
Yeah.
And we've devalued the life of a human being by not looking in someone's eyes and saying good morning.
Mm.
It seems so simple. Wishing somebody a good rising. I have friends that they would say, don't say morning. That's like, you know, a negative word. Well, it's the intention behind what we're doing. I want a world, and I choose every moment of every day. I have friends of mine who say, you know, this is Shannon, you know, she's always like this. Nope, she's not on drugs. This is the way she is.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
Yep. Because we have an opportunity in this life. It's the only way we can make a difference. I can speak before a stadium of people, and Lauren, I shared that with you. But if I don't know how to love one human being, the person who's in front of me, the person who's in front of me is the person that needs that love. My grief goes and sorrow goes to the families that are suffering from the deaths. There are deaths, the truth is, of children, thousands around the world. These are one. Three.
Hourly.
These are three.
Hourly.
And it's not just guns. It's
starvation, trafficking, child labor.
I was in India and I watched people step over people. Yeah, actually step over a child. Like they weren't even there.
How does that happen?
Well, I also learned there that you have to focus your attention on what you can help. So
someone told me that yesterday.
Yeah.
Lauren, you can't fix the whole world.
But I can help one.
It can help one.
And it's something that transformed my life when I was 19 years old. I got off a stadium's platform and I fell to my knees and I shared that story with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, God, here's all these people asking me for help, but Father, I don't know how to help each one of them. And I went, how do I love? And it was literally, help me to learn to love one. So I learned to love me.
Yeah.
I learned to appreciate the gift that God gave me. And then I learned through a very, very, very difficult marriage how to love another who didn't know how to love.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned a lesson from that person.
And it's so similar. We all, I mean, if we laid out our speed bumps,
Everybody has them.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing, I'm the kind of person, I love to seek common ground first. You know, what have you gone through and share what I've gone through. But I want us to talk about spirit.
Yes, that's where I want to go with that.
You've done a lot of traveling.
What spirit taught me in that lesson with that person was how to love the enemy in my own home. It was one of the greatest, valuablest lessons I've ever learned. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to say, love your enemy as yourself, right? Or love the person that at work is being a jerk to you, right? I'm not saying being a victim, hear me, that's not it. Who I am is not conditional on another person's behavior.
Right.
Who I am chooses to love, chooses to be kind, chooses that even if I go from a situation at home, so this is what I learned from this person, even if I go through that situation, I then walk out that door. When I met you that day, Lauren, you had no idea what I was in. All you knew was that I spoke into your life kindness and I saw you. I saw and prophesied that you were going to do what you're doing now.
You did.
Because I saw you. Because I saw the radiant human being that had suffered so much and chose to be a light in this world. You walked in that room and lit it up.
Mm. And you know, it's interesting because I wasn't even in that mini mall, that shopping area for your store.
No, you were visiting family.
Excuse me. Yeah. And there I was. Yeah. And there you were.
Yeah.
And you
at a video store.
Right. They still had those then.
And I worked it at night because I was working 2 jobs. I worked in the day and I worked at night. I was a workhorse.
And I'm pretty sure if you weren't the first person, you were one of the first. I think I had gotten my business cards that day.
Yeah.
So I had never, seen this me except on the card because nothing had started yet, really.
I think it was brand new. I think you had just gotten them.
It was brand new.
Uh-huh.
And you indeed did prophesy over me that day about these moments that I now find myself blessed to be living within. And your life changed. See, you went outside of what was pushing in on all sides to pour it just for a moment.
We generated each other.
Mm-hmm. And then we went about our separate ways, and it was some years. And then you were packing up to go on your journey.
Yes.
Talk about that and how you found that same business card.
That was the good one.
Tell them about that.
So I had gone through, and this is the dramatic actual, like what happened. I had been before God, I had prayed, and God had told me that I was put my hands on everything in my boxes, that I was to intentionally keep everything. So it was a journey.
Tell them what you were preparing for.
I was preparing to take a trip where I was going around the United States. And then I felt this call. I didn't even know how I was going to do it, but to go into the world. I didn't know the level of what God was about to have me do. Right. I just knew that I was supposed to finish this box and go on this trip and pack and get ready. Oh,
it's gonna be good, y'all.
So I had stuff from a marriage where, you have the 5,600 square foot mausoleum is what I called it. It was a place of death to me. It wasn't life. It was a place of, when I walked out of there, I rebirthed. And I literally came back out of the grave. And when I came out of that grave, I was supposed to go through every single box. The very last box.
Wait, what do you mean came back out of the grave?
Well, I had been in there before when I was 15.
Oh, okay. So it's like coffin. You just go in and shut it.
And then God was like, let's redo this.
Okay. So you're told to put your hands on. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm in that box and I go down into the box, and to the very bottom of the box, there's a little stack of business cards. And I start going through the business cards, and the very last card. So the last thing in this act of obedience that took almost 2 years. The very last thing in that act of obedience in the last box was your card.
When you reached out, I remember.
And I called you. And it was that divine purpose, that day that you came in that store. I was not ready yet to take the trip that I was about to take.
Right.
I was in a marriage where I had lost loving who God created in me. I could love others. But I really had to learn that my life was worth something. And when I left that mausoleum, when I left that grave, that was when I came back to life. And that was where it was in this lifetime. I went, where's my purpose? And the purpose that God literally said, and it's very simple. My purpose in this life is to love and to be loved. Now that sounds so simple, right, Lauren? But it is one of the greatest commissions, but it is also one of the greatest responsibilities, but it is also really hard sometimes to love, particularly loving your enemy. But I refined it, because I used purposes like my father. How do you treat someone? How do you be a purpose-filled, driven life? How do you be that person? Well, it's not when it's easy to love someone. You learn to love your enemy. You learn to love people who are not very lovable. I'm sometimes not very lovable. Like, my friends might disagree with that, but right. I know I'm not very lovable sometimes.
I want to throw something in before we get too far down the sidewalk. When you said, I left that mausoleum, I came back to life. Now, I know a lot of us envisioned, like clear and brought back to life. She didn't say brought back to life. She said came back to life. Now, why is that so important? It's never about just one thing.
I was.
So figuratively speaking, but her her purpose never left her.
Never.
She left it. And when she said, I came back to life, she literally came back and said, okay, can we do this? And can we start over?
The purpose.
Exactly. And I want people.
But I had to learn the lesson to get back into the purpose.
Exactly. But I'm saying this because there's somebody out there that doesn't understand the divide. I'm feeling that right now. You think something, you don't know how to find it. Trace your steps. Look over your shoulder. Find the courage to look at where you've come from. Because you could very well see, even if it means you got to trace your steps, put your feet in and you're going backwards, but you're moving away from what you don't like looking at, even if you go backwards. Because now you can see all the things you passed to get there. And now maybe you will understand the meaning of why you had to go past there. And then you'll run around all those footprints right back to where you just ran from, because now you will see clearly why it had to be. I'm only pushing this because purpose should never be like a piece of spaghetti that we throw against the wall and hope it sticks. In other words, a carelessly thrown around word.
No. See
it. Know what it means so that it can mean something to you. So let's talk about this real quick, Shannon. Spirit.
So can I talk about the purpose thing? Because when you were talking, it starts by writing it down. What's my purpose?
When you write things down, it's so that you can remember it just like that. It is a contract. It is a covenant. Go ahead.
Yes. So I had a purpose that I didn't know because I lost where I was alive. And in the context of my mind, when I was in the trauma or in the suffering, in the lesson, if you would, in that shadow time, I got caught in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed to let that go, and not the don't for remember it, do not, because I have some people that love to coach to say, don't even remember it. You know what? I remember because it's what makes me loving. It's my literal superpower.
Everything we live, we need to remember because God is purposeful. None of it is arbitrary.
Thank you. That's my passion with that one. So I would go to him and I would he's like, so what's your purpose? And I had things like, well, and I was really wishy-washy. And one day I was in prayer, and I went in prayer, and I was like, God, what is my purpose? And I literally heard the whisper, to be loved.
What's in that book? Let me tell you what's happening here, so people don't think I'm being pushy.
Please do.
I'm going to just do it. I'm going to just do it because they will not leave me alone right now.
Go.
They will not leave me alone right now. Let's get this purpose piece out because we got to get to this thing about the spirit behind things. Someone here today, you are here to hear this thing about spirit. So if you feel like something's pulling you to sign off, go ahead if you want to and miss this thing that is going to change your life.
Yes.
I would think twice about it. Stay put. The more you feel pulled to leave, stay put. I guarantee you, your blessing is near. So come on, get this purpose piece in.
So when I heard that it is to be loved, that relationship, to be loved, what do you mean? That God would want me, the spirit would want me to be loved. To be loved. So that I was like, to me, that's profound.
Mm-hmm.
To be loved. God wants me to be loved. And the second part of it took actually a few days. And to love. The reason I'm bringing that up is this. We are dealing with a world that has the opposite of that. It is a spirit of death and destruction that we find that some people subjugate themselves to.
It's always been here.
They'll either attack themselves, which is depression, anger turned inwards. We know that. Or they attack another. It's anger turned outwards.
Shannon, stick with me on this, girl. Trust me. We know all that.
Yeah.
All of us knows all of that. We need to talk more about what changes it. Let's get to what changes it. Somebody is fighting signing off right now. I can feel it. If you want to say who you are, put in the comments because I know you're there. We need to get to what's in that red book because you held it up. We haven't gotten to it. Let's get to it. We got a long ways to go in a short period of time.
What changes it is a relationship with God and others. It is, however you want to title source. This is the thing. When I traveled around the world, I stopped just with one name. I grew up with the name of Jesus Christ, and I love Jesus with my whole heart and with my whole soul. But Jesus, God, was the one who started taking me on the journey of learning about all the different names of God.
Okay. I can't help it, y'all. Get to that red book. You done picked that red book up 3 times. So it tells me.
It's right here.
Okay.
I forgot it was in there.
Well,
right there. I just opened it up.
Well, I'm telling you, I didn't.
There's all these pages. I want to show everybody. There's all these pages. This is where I opened.
Okay.
Action is about the situation. I am responsible for all my actions.
Go back and start over. I'm giving you the whole screen. Go and don't leave out one word. Read that page, and then we're going to turn our own page. Go for it.
So it's right here.
You go, girl.
I'm going. Action is about the situation, right? We have actions. We have a situation we're in, and we think that.
Shannon.
Let me get there.
But you read what came out of you.
Action is about the situation. I am responsible for my actions. I am responsible for my anger. If I am angry, I am responsible. Unable to respond is death. Death to myself. Life is the ability to respond. Life. Like I'm actually alive. I can respond. 100% able to respond. How am I losing my ability to respond? How do you commit suicide in increments? By not responding, by apathy.
Okay, keep going.
Where does the ability to respond start from and end? It starts and ends with me. It is my job to care for people.
Keep reading. Verbatim.
You are responsible. Action requires. My action is always limited. My responsibility is limitless. Align your life with good. Good food, good fuel, and responsibility. To be responsible. I'm responsible for the starving child. Respond cautiously and respond consciously.
You say that one again.
Responsibility and action. They're together. If I say I'm not responsible.
Okay.
King who has a kingdom. Here it is.
Right there. Stop right there. Let me tell y'all what just happened. Now you were watching. Now this is why I was pushing. Because we don't have to. The truth doesn't need a floor show. The truth does not require a warm-up person overselling. The reason I wanted you to read verbatim, because all of us knows, you saw the way those pages look when she held it up just to say, look at all the, you could tell, when we become the scribe and what is greater than us speaks through us and you're writing it down. See, you see when she got caught up because she couldn't read her own writing in that one spot, because when it was in the moment, she was being fed what she needed to get through. That's why I didn't want her to change it. Because I knew the message came when she was most likely in her darkest, at her lowest, when it was hardest. All of those things that make us think it's only about those things. And it is never about just one thing. And today we're in the light. So that's why I didn't want you to explain the dark. Take us to that divine moment when it came through you and found you where you were. That is for you, person that's out there that was being pulled away. That is for you, that person that just came in. Someone sent you the things that get in here. You will never be left in the cold. You will never be left all alone. When you sit there and you ask, you will receive. If you seek, you will find. That is the spirit that makes us one. And Shannon, thank you for being a good sport about that.
Absolutely.
But talk about, do you remember where you were when that came flowing to you and now it's flowing through you? Because I guarantee you, when you wrote it down, you couldn't see that you'd be pouring this into the world today, right here. It was being poured into you. How important, what was going through your mind, your feelings as you read your own instructions?
Well, I have to actually look about where I was. So what was going on in my life at that time was I believe at that time, it was right before I went to India. So this was when I had come back to America after being overseas and was incredibly like, what's going on? Because a lot of things were financially and emotionally happening. And my son was really not doing well. And that reality of like, I went to India, had this transformational experience and came home to a child that is dealing with a level of depression and destruction on himself and dealing with that. And it was like coming into the source of like, I'm responsible. Like I can be angry at everybody else, but part of that is also action. So it was the responsibility and action. I needed a kick in the pants myself, which was that if I want to transform this situation, then I have to have action. Love is not a noun. It can be, but love is a verb. Love has actions. It means that if we are not feeling loved, there is a lack of people's action in our life, in my action, in my life, to love me, to love another.
So let's go back. You dropped something in, and I'm going to tell you what I wrote down because I don't know if y'all can tell by my hand.
I got more.
Right. So you've been on this vision quest, if you will, transformation seeking, all the way to India. But when you came back, you had a financial thing going on and you had the thing with your son going on. So transformation does not change or fix everything. This is what came through. But transformation can and will change us.
Yes. And how I respond. What's my action going to be?
But when you went, I want to know, this is me asking.
Yeah.
When you went, when you thought of transformation, did you believe somehow that it would fix everything in your life?
So that's what's interesting. You can transform yourself. Okay. So I've been learning a lot about, I can be in it for transformation for myself, but then there's this next step of transformation of those who are in my inner circle, those that you start with one other person. So, and for my life, it was my two sons. So it was investing in contacting them and making sure, and I've been doing that for years, making sure that even if they're making choices, they're in their transformation. It's staying by someone when they're in the ugly.
Right.
It is staying by them where they're going through their transformation. And my sons are in their transformation, but they're now going on that other side. And part of the transformation is literally facing your own darkness, facing that you don't necessarily love yourself. And why don't I love myself? Because usually someone's taught you that something about you is not perfect and wonderful. Sometimes it's because like I'm short or I'm fat. Oh, that must mean I'm not wonderful and lovable. Well, I am.
Of course.
Fat, hanging skin is lovable. Now I have a 500-hour World Yoga Alliance certification and I have skin that hangs. I've lifted weights. I've worked where I was director over at a gym in their children's thing. we might not be the image of what someone else tells me is beautiful, but I am beautiful. So someone might say, you know what? I love other women. So I could be like, I love women. I'm not beautiful. Well, I happen to be heterosexual, but either way, I'm beautiful.
Right.
I'm wonderful. I'm not less than. I'm perfect. Someone somewhere along the way told someone that they were less than. Now, I will tell this. It is responsibility to myself to love me. And it is a responsibility then to then pick one other and love them. And if I say that I am not responsible, I'm going to read it. We're going to go back and reading. A king who has a kingdom, or a queen who has a queendom. We're responsible for security. We're responsible. We're for laughter and joy. A king has a bright idea. Security being his highest concern. One door, no windows in his castle. He has 300 soldiers on one side of the door. One person can trust your life with. You just need one. You don't even need their names because you only have one window. That's actually like, in a way, he's not caring about anybody else. It's almost like he's trapped in his own castle. So what I'm saying is a king or a queen isn't just safe for themselves. You know, oh, my whole life is safe. But they need a life that is fulfilling. And part of a life that is fulfilling isn't just, you know, hey, I'm secure. My ship's not going down. My finances are fine and everything's here. It's actually then you step up to that next level of one other person. And then one person becomes a group. Now, Lauren, we see that in you. You're actually going to Romania. You have the power of we.
Thank you for reminding me. I got to show that.
Yep. You have the power of we. You have already understood, I've got to accept and love myself. You found your Brian. You found yourself first, though. You found you and loved you. And the places where people that had poured into you that you weren't lovable, you healed that.
Let me say this. See, I'm hearing a lot of EDs or Ds. You found.
You healed.
You healed.
Okay, you heal it. Now.
And even transformed. Let me tell you something. I take those endings off of everything.
Okay.
And I add ing instead. Because I am healing. I am finding. I am transforming. Because as long as I have breath in my body, I am within a sacred process that is not over. It is not over. As long as there's breath in my body.
Amen.
So,
it is daily. That's where we're getting.
So, well, you see, I'm the lazy man's approach. I'm not going to dance around it because, again, the truth and purpose don't need a floor show.
So
just go. I'm going straight to the yoke.
So what you just said is gold. Every day, every moment, I can transform that moment. I can turn from, let's say this morning, I couldn't get my password to get in here, right? And it was like, why am I dealing with this spirit that is blocking me from my purpose? What is going on? I could have chosen to just say, I can't do it. And instead, I literally went, whatever is standing in my way, get away.
Okay.
I know
I'm 2
I'm
cents
supposed
in
to
on
be
this
here.
one. Because let's just go there. Because when I looked at my phone, it was 4 minutes before we went live, and
I kept fighting.
Right. Okay, but because I can go back to it.
I know it was 11 of, I think, or 14 of, or something. It was ridiculous.
I'm talking about what we said.
Oh yeah, let's read it. Ready, everybody?
My computer is not at 7:53.
All right.
My computer is not letting me log on or reset my password. I've been trying for over an hour. 4 exclamation points.
Yeah.
Frustration. I can only log in here on my phone, and it's not sending me the password to my email, exclamation point. And I said, wait.
Made no sense.
Now, wait, of course. Because when things don't make sense to you, it's because it ain't got shit to do with you. That means that something is trying to not serve you, and it cannot touch you. But it can send an innuendo. It can make you doubt, fear, all these things. And what did I say? Well, first of all, there is no password. Are you using the StreamYard link? Then I put the link back in. I know that's the one you clicked on. The latest.
The latest one.
That I sent in. Wait a minute. And then what did I say right after that? When you get in via phone.
Yes.
Turn it in landscape sideways, please. Yes. I said, I did not ask. Or I didn't say if.
No.
When. I used dominion.
Yes.
And I said so that everything that needed to come to your aid could fly in.
2 or more are gathered in my name. And that's where we're coming.
Later, you were on the screen. Right when I hit start. Let me tell y'all what that is. Yeah. That is letting go of what does not serve you so that there is room within this divine space for all that does serve you. Let me tell you something. Purpose does not come to your dance to be a wallflower. To wait outside in a line for some gatekeeper to say, you're cute enough, you're smart enough, you come in. Purpose, they're coming straight in and they're going to hit the dance floor because we are in this life to dance. Participate, ING, not just watch. Shannon, tell people what you're doing. How are you? Let me see the time. Oh, first thing I want to do, think about this, and I'm gonna just show. I gotta show the Hope for Kid video so you guys know, because we're a month away, and we got a long way to go financially. But I ain't worried about it. I'll tell you that. I'm never worried about it. And if you all want to help change this world in a way, be a part of something greater than yourself, the power of we's the place. Let me tell you. And so take a look at who we've partnered with, a Romanian nonprofit, to go in and change the lives of the future.
Because I'm responsible.
Yes.
Acolo a fost personalul de serviciu care ți-a înjurat eu blestematul ăsta și ți-a furat mâncarea. Unde? La Dita, la Sfântul Nicolae. Să nu fie foarte numai pentru bani. Acum deja numai pentru bani. Toți donațiile și astea, și donațiile privesc copiii, nu? Da. Privesc copiii. Donațiile se pune în
The purpose of this documentary is to raise a universal alarm on the extreme poverty levels in which families and over 41.5% of Romanian children live in. Some children go to bed without eating. Some eat every 2 days. 8 in 10 Romanian children in orphanages are not even orphans. The extreme poverty levels of their families forces the parents to abandon their children, either in an orphanage, a placement center, or with a family member, so they can go abroad and work. Even more alarming than the rising poverty levels in Romania are its ramifications: neglect, child abuse, child labor, rape, trafficking, school abandonment, children ending up in the system, in prison, or even worse, dead. Now imagine a world in which all children can grow up in a loving family with proper food, access to education, sexual education, access to proper mental health and physical health, access to integration programs. Imagine these children having the same chance in life as our children. Let's be family to these children, all of us, together. Let's be the answer to the end of poverty and social exclusion. Join our forces and help us build a better world in which families and children of Romania flourish.
Oh, Shannon, thank you for letting me get that in. I have an obligation, a responsibility, and I didn't want to overlook that this morning. Now,
that blesses, actually, because that is what today is about. When you and I had no plan, I had people ask me, "Oh, what's your topic going to be?" I have no idea, because the moment needs this topic. I am responsible. So those children who are in great need in Romania, here in America, you pick 3 people, and this is what I am responsible for, whatever I do and whatever I don't do. And those children, it is not tomorrow. It is this moment. This moment, I am responsible for what? Well, I'm responsible for me. Yeah, we got that.
Mhm.
I want you to choose 3 people that you're responsible, right? 3 people that I can respond in a way to transform their lives. And then when you pick 3 people, you then pick more.
Mhm.
You just keep getting bigger. And that is what I'm not in the game anymore for me. So like, for instance, there's several groups of women that I go into. And I tell them I'm not part of just one group. My thing is to take the leaders in these different groups and then bring them together.
Okay.
So we were doing like a clothing exchange. These are women who are in spirit and in service and doing things. And we just brought our clothes together because that's a way that money for a lot of people is better suited towards helping somebody, let's say in Romania.
Speaking of money, go ahead.
Yep. To help another.
Right.
You know, so if see this right here, this was gifted to me last night.
Really?
This jacket. Yeah. She goes, this is a magic jacket. Do you see it?
Yeah, I like it.
She goes, I just feel it's for you. And it was because like I'm wearing it today.
There you go.
It's like, but that saved me and hear me, and not just saved. Either money is a tool and we know it. And I love money. I people are saying the love of money is the root of all evil. No, I don't mean loving it like I worship it. I love using it as a tool. Yeah. Right. It's a tool.
It is.
It is. And it was a tool that instead of going and getting plastic surgery, I said, God, what do you want me to do with this money? And it was, I want you to go see my face around this world. And I want you to love one person at a time.
Wow. So Shannon, if you had to sum up your journey from that day we divinely met in the store you were working in,
I was
to this moment, we got about 1 minute left. So leave them with this. Tell them what do you know now that you didn't know then? The most important thing of all.
The creator of the universe. That God, goddess, however you want to phrase it, the source of all that is holy. The source that is the holiest of holies.
Come on.
Did not create this earth to punish us. Created it to love us. So that we would learn to love. By choice. We were created to love by choice. It wasn't meant to destroy us. It's meant to love us. And I know people say, how can you say that with all the suffering? Well, we need to do something. I get to choose to love. I get to choose to love. Why do people not understand to just be loving? Be kind. It starts with one person. It seems so freaking easy. Start here. Then start with one other. Love what you think is unlovable. I'm unlovable, so love you. Then love another. And then love another. Then love another. Then love another. Then love another. You are created in the image of God. You have the power to transform everything around you. You are responsible. No one else.
This is true. We have dominion, the only creatures that speak. And I have just been so blessed today by speaking with you. Continue doing what you do. Where can people find you to continue the dialogue with you? What would be the best place for that?
I'm on the social media platforms.
Shannon Elizabeth McGregor.
Yeah.
I will drop her Facebook link inside your comment section immediately at the conclusion.
I'm also in Freedom. She is the number 2 happy.
Okay, I can't remember that.
That's
but
fine.
You go in and drop it for them. Yeah. Okay.
Freedom, she is too happy at yahoo.com.
Yeah. You're going to go in and drop. They're not going to remember that, Shannon. I just said that. They're going to drop it in because we got 12 seconds.
Yeah. You can find me on TikTok also.
You can drop that in too. You can drop it.
That is the thing. So find me on Facebook. know that you're loved, and we will keep transforming the world together.
There you go.
One person at a time.
Here's
Together
the
we
quote.
rise.
There, I gotta go. We got like 4 seconds. You guys have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Jimmy Clare is here to talk about his life, how it has improved in the last year, even though he's still on the spectrum. He's happy about that. Find out why tomorrow morning when another illuminated conversation ensues right out at the front porch at 8 a.m. Central, God willing. Get out. Be the best you can be today. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. I love you. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Thank you, Shannon. Great job, girl. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.